Welcome to the Teacher's Lounge, a podcast dedicated to providing real-life resources for early education professionals. The Teacher's Lounge is hosted by Noelle Dentino and Jessica Day. Together, they bring almost 50 years of combined experience in and out of the early education classroom, offering a wealth of knowledge and practical insights that you need now if you're in childcare. Whether you're a new assistant or making the leap from lead teacher to director, we have you covered. Join us as we delve into the unique challenges and opportunities of each role, sharing our experiences and expertise with practical tools to help you succeed. So grab a cup of coffee or your favorite drink, and let's jump into the lounge.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Teacher's Lounge. This week's podcast topic will be about how to make the most of monthly staff observations in early education classrooms. The importance of conducting monthly staff observations in an ECE classroom cannot be overstated. This is because these observations provide invaluable insight into how well teachers and other staff members are doing their jobs. It can also help identify any areas that may need improvement and ensure compliance with the standards and regulations set forth by the state or governing body. With that being said, let's explore how to make the most out of monthly staff observations. Ms. Johnson was a veteran director who worked in an early education setting for many years. She loved teaching and was dedicated to her students, but she always struggled with how to make the most of her monthly staff observations. She found that her observations were often rushed, and she didn't know how to provide meaningful feedback that would help her colleagues improve. She also felt that the observations weren't making a real impact on student outcomes. The following steps will offer guidance on how to do an observation and what steps to put in place to follow up with your team. First step, gather data prior to observation. It is important to gather data prior to conducting any observation so that you have a clear understanding of what you are looking for during the observation. This could include gathering feedback from parents or students, reviewing previous performance reviews, or pulling any relevant reports regarding student learning outcomes. By gathering this data ahead of time, you can better focus your observations on areas where improvements or guidance is needed. Next step is to make a plan for your observations. Once you have gathered the necessary data, it is important to create an observation plan with clear objectives for each observation. For instance, if you are observing a classroom, your objectives might be to observe how well students interact with each other and teachers, how effective teaching strategies are being used, and what challenges might be present within the classroom environment. The more specific your objectives are, the more effective your observations will be. Third step is to observe with an open mind. When conducting an observation, it is important to remain open-minded throughout the process. Asking questions about any observed behaviors can help uncover underlying issues that may not have been immediately evident. Additionally, it is important not to jump to conclusions. Instead, take time after each observation session to review all notes and reflect on what was observed before making any judgments or decisions based on those observations. Mrs. Smith was a first-year assistant director in an early ed setting, striving for the best outcome for her students, but feeling frustrated with unproductive and disorganized team meetings, until she discovered powerful strategies to help her succeed. On top of conducting more effective observations, providing clear feedback, and using observation data as key performance indicators, Mrs. Smith saw outstanding results, from improved professional development among colleagues to better student learning outcomes that were profoundly impacted by these changes. All thanks to one determined educator's inspiring efforts. Conducting monthly staff observations in the early education classroom provides valuable insight into how well teachers and other staff members are performing their job duties, as well as identifying areas where improvement may be needed in order to ensure compliance with standards and regulations set forth by governing licensing offices. Moreover, when done effectively, they can provide valuable feedback, which can then be used as part of a comprehensive evaluation process for educators and staff members alike. By following best practices, such as gathering data prior to beginning an observation, creating a plan with clearly defined objectives, and remaining open-minded throughout the process, educators can ensure that they are making the most out of their monthly staff observations in early education classrooms. We hope this information has been helpful to you. We encourage you to begin implementing the strategies offered in this week's podcast and let us know when you start to see improvements in your classroom observation.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of the Teacher's Lounge. We're so grateful for your time and hope you found our discussion helpful and inspiring. Remember, you are doing an amazing job in the field of early education, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Until next time, take care, and we'll be back soon with more resources, insights, and inspirations to help you succeed. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on all our social medias to stay up to date on the latest happenings inside the lounge. Keep up the great work. We're cheering you on.